baby. Oh, fail. I'm going to try that again. Give me a moment here, guys.
That's perfectly fine. Oh. That was your theme, pal. I know.
Technology. Gotta love it.
This man, this beautiful man, has got this sense of devotion. One look, one touch of the hand to set the spiral in motion. I want it, can't have it, oh, I can hardly stand it. Oh, what's a man to do? Gotta get up, 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 na 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 na. That represents the soul of the sun of someone to know. Freedom, that's a price. The road, lost and down. My lights, they don't accept. When you're in the desert, resistance of total war. Living on disposable masses. Resistance of total war. Wait out. Show this feeling. Lost yourself, what have you done? To decide about respect. You've been on the wrong side of the gun.
Welcome, everybody, to Tiger Talks Wrestling, and welcome to Best in the Yard 2 Retrospective. I am your host, Tony, and I am joined today by two men who are VTW originals, and we're very much part of Best in the Yard 2, the Silver Standard Xstatic, the one-man revolution himself, Aaron Jones. Welcome into the show, guys. Welcome back to the show.
How you doing, Tony?
Doing pretty well. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing a lot better after seeing those promo packages in the beginning.
Those were really cool. I wasn't expecting
Right.
that. That was pretty rad, honestly.
Those, of course, courtesy of my usual co-host, Mr. Awesome, who will be in the comment section throughout the show today.
Right on. Well, thank you, Mr. Awesome.
Yeah, you did
Thanks
a great
for being
job.
awesome.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
joining, but
Comments.
in the comments.
We'll be there. But nonetheless, we'll dive into that. I just want to do a quick couple little plugs here before we get in. We got a lot of wrestling stuff going on in wrestling period in the next couple weeks. So Tiger Talks Wrestling will be quite busy with some prediction shows for, we got NXT TakeOver coming up in just under 2 weeks now. That'll be on my Anchor.fm channel. And then, of course, 2 nights of WrestleMania again. What are you guys looking forward to the most since I got you on here as in both of those shows?
So basically, as of right now, I'm kind of looking more forward to NXT TakeOver than anything. But I mean, Mania-wise, I mean, Roman and Edge, possibly Daniel Bryan, who knows?
More than
A
likely.
couple of things like NXT TakeOver just seems to really have it right now. The ladder match for the Cruiserweight title sounds really cool. Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. I mean, they got a lot of good stuff coming up. I don't keep up with the wrestling as much as I used to, but dear God, they got some good stuff coming.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I didn't even know WrestleMania was these 2 weeks. Usually I just get invited to Aaron's house. He's like, you want to watch WrestleMania? I'm like, yeah, sure. So, Roman and Edge have a match. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I like what Roman's doing now as opposed to what he was doing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right?
It's nothing like Best in the Yard 2, though.
Indeed.
All right. That we shall dive into here. Best in the Yard 2. I just wanted to get a little plug out there for what's coming up here on the channel.
Got you.
And what do you guys, before we get into the video package and highlights, what do you guys take out of that weekend that you guys did Best in the Yard 2? And do you remember the most from that weekend before we get into the highlights?
You want to go first?
Yeah. Well, meeting a lot of new faces was definitely, meeting Jordan, Navon, and also just always seeing everybody is always just a great experience. So many memories from that show, just staying up late in that decrepit, terrible, cold building at night and listening to Navon in the dark tell stories of all kinds of things. It just, it made the whole weekend. But I mean, also, just the wrestling, the matches filmed after we did the show. I mean, it's a lot of really cool stuff that just kind of goes, it's a big bond.
Yeah, I mean, every Best in the Yard was special, but for most people who wrestle on Best in the Yards, most people consider 2 the best. Not only for the matches, but for those memories that we made. One really cool memory nobody really knows about is Cameron Jackson's sunglasses getting broken.
Do you remember that?
And everybody proceeded to climb through some imaginary wrestling ropes and drop an elbow on these broken sunglasses. Yep. And it's something that will always go with me. Corey Graves with his torn ACL hobbling over there and just falling onto him.
Nice.
Yep. I mean, there were so many good memories that weekend. I mean, there was always good memories on Best in the Yard weekends, but especially with number 2, it was just like everything clicked. Those new faces, like he said, of Jordan, Navon, Chase Bridges. I think there was a couple other ones, but just a lot of
Jason
cool
Atlas.
new faces. Jason Atlas was there for the first time doing commentary. We actually did a dark match together. We tag teamed. Kern, I'm so used to calling him Kern.
Yeah.
Jason Atlas is such a good dude. He actually lives down here in North Carolina now, so we get to see him a little bit more. But, I mean, just the memories, man. They were all so good.
Yeah.
Right. All right. See if people get talking in the comment section. I'll read off things from in there when they do. But
cool. All right.
Let's see what's the first thing to pop up here. Well, I'm not going to play the actual video for that first. The first match on the card, of course, Aaron, you know quite well since you were a part of it. The 3 Kings.
Yep.
We're going to play a little promo for it and the highlight package, and then go to the actual video package of the match, more highlights to it from the NUW panel that Mr. Awesome created as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'm going to pause this before it gets going, if it will.
I should have put like my merch bio back here. People could have been buying my merch.
Yeah. You see a T-shirt that just says Jones on it.
Nice. All right. Let's dive into this.
That's the state of my head. That's the state of my head. It's been a long bumpy ride get back in the saddle.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aaron Jones, and if you don't mind, I'm going to tell you a quick story. A quick story about three men who have never stepped in the ring together. And Best in the Yard 2. And those three men are also known as the Three Kings.
You see, I represent not only myself, but I represent the new CEO of the UWE, Angelique Stark. And now we will go on to Best in the Yard 2 and begin our crusade, our empire, as I go on to defeat Aaron Jones, the BTW champion, and Corey Graves, the APW champion, and prove that I am the true king amongst kings.
For possibly the first time in my backyard wrestling career, I'm the underdog. The champion.
Backyard wrestling.
So no matter what you choose to say, I will beat you.
Aaron, Everett, I'm going to make this short and sweet.
We will begin a great fire and wipe this world clean of backyard wrestling. And it all starts with Aaron Jones and Corey Graves.
And it's all a matter of time.
That animal, that beast, is forced to bare its teeth and chomp down and devour and shred apart whatever is endangering it. So Best in the Yard, the triple threat match that we have,
You're looking at the future of backyard wrestling. And at Best in the Yard, you're going to be bowing down to me, as all of you will be bowing down to the Stark supremacy.
When it comes down to that day, and that day is gone,
The Stark supremacy will rise. It's all going to happen very soon. The fall of backyard wrestling. There's going to be a great fire, and I'm going to be the one that lets the spark.
if you back me in the corner, I will be forced to hurt you badly.
We've ISIS see my child's play. Aaron Jones,
and I'll prove to everybody that I'm the king.
Corey Graves.
It's going to be me. It's going to be the APW champion. It's going to be Corey Graves.
The supremacy is now.
Okay, now before I get into that, I do want to read the couple comments that are in here while I'm getting the page set up here. Jason Atlas says the boys. H2 pops in, says just popping in to say hey to a few dudes I respect, and I'm happy to see Aaron killing it in the indies and hope to see some of X in the future. And then you got Adam Anderson who says, ask Aaron what lemons taste like for me. So feel free to respond to that whenever you get this way.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aaron Jones, and if you don't mind, I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Let's skip a little past
A
this.
quick story about three men who have never stepped in the ring together. At best in the yard, too. And those three men are also known as the Three Kings.
Obviously, we just seen that part.
World Heavyweight Champion of UWE, Everett Creed, the self-supremacy, coming in here with the purpose tonight to prove his point and prove the fact that he is the king of kings.
It's about to go down here tonight, fellas. I cannot wait to call this action.
It's so fitting for Best in the Art to having the three main champions in the same match. And he has arrived! He's amazing. And that this show is every year. It's amazing.
I like this guy. I like him very much. And look at the stare down between these two.
Oh, it's getting nasty already. There it goes! He's arrived! BTW World Heavyweight Champion! The Screamers are going!
Wow, this is special. Look at the champions. The clash of the champions. The clash of the kings. Right here at Best in the Yard 2.
It doesn't get any better, and we're just getting started! Oh boy! Everett's just full of it. You hear that? That was the bell.
The opening bell.
Oh, 19! Oh my goodness! He got him! He got him! We rushed right out the gate!
That's one kick right there.
Aaron Jones right in the face.
Cold in my kingdom.
What a shot. Hit another. Push him out.
Oh, rock! Paper! Scissors! That's damage. Oh!
One bite, you should see me in the crowd. Acceptance is my favorite style. One bite.
The blackout is going up. The crowd chanting moves up.
Which one is worse? Living or dying?
Take somebody's heart, eat that right to the foundation. Get out of here, you idiot! Come on!
Come over, baby.
Paper! Scissors! Oh!
Everett Creed coming back with that clothesline.
Corey break?
You should see me in the crowd. Got no limits, nothing's out.
And the crowd are cheering.
One bite, you should see me in the crowd.
Corey Creed get back into
Oh,
it.
the camel clutch!
It looked like a modified
Oh,
version.
that is! Never mind.
A jawbreaker.
Oh, wait, no. That is the call to ultimate!
Ah!
This nigga didn't know. Oh, the lid! The lid! The lid! The lid! To the head!
Graves with that trash can lid.
Yeah. What you gonna do? Night. 1, 2. You gonna do?
It's Aaron Jones.
The best in the yard! Oh,
Everett broke it up.
They're fighting over who's getting the cover.
I'm better than you. I am better than you.
No, you're not. I just want to leave it colder, like the fuse and burn it off. Take the path that leads to nowhere. All is lost again, but I'm not giving down. I will not bow. Nothing like the action we saw on 995 on the way down here. Aaron, don't back up. Aaron. Oh! Respect! Oh, here comes Freddy. Yabba dabba do! Watch the burn through dying eyes. Now the dark is taking over. Show me where forever dies. Take the fall and run to heaven. All is lost again.
Hell to the gas.
Strap in, grab your bag with your seatbelt, and have a good time. I will not fall. I will not fade. I will take your breath away. And I'll say, let's go.
You better believe it. Creed is gonna have to tap out here, or he's gonna lose an arm.
I see you.
He tapped out. Referee calling.
Referee just called for the bell.
It is over.
It's over.
The match is over.
Did we just see that? Did we just tap? I think Everett Creed just tapped. I think that's against his morals.
It's official. The winner of the match is the BTW champion, the Blackout, Aaron Jones.
Congratulations, Aaron. I'm pretty sure the boys in the back here at BTW are very happy. Kids, don't go to war. Come on.
BTW standing tall in this one. We're gonna bow to this team.
Aaron Jones, BTW World Heavyweight Champion, standing tall at the BTW Private Match. Better than the odds.
Hey.
There we go.
Oh, geez.
Well then,
Tony,
apparently we lost you there for a second. I didn't even notice.
you crashed my computer.
Oh man.
No, it's okay. It's a piece of junk. First off, before we get into that, you had some comments earlier. Adam Anderson, I hope you fall on a bag of lemons. And Hayden, it's really good to hear from you, dude. Man, he's always been such a right there. Hayden's always been a super good guy. So good to hear from him, honestly.
So,
Kern.
Oh yeah,
Love you, buddy.
I think
Hope
Kern
you're
was in
doing
there.
okay. Miss
Yeah.
you. Come see us. Got you, bro.
so Aaron, I'll take this to you since we were just watching the highlights for that match. How much do you remember from that fight, and did it kind of dampen it a little with the injury that Corey obviously suffered? It seemed like during the match, or if he had it happen before you guys started the match, whichever happened.
No, I mean, I honestly remember about every bit of that match. I mean, I can actually replay it in my head without watching it. So the injury definitely dampened it just a hair. Obviously, during the match, Corey really messed up his knee early on, and then it just got worse.
Right.
And that basically put all the efforts on me and Everett at that point to continue on the match, which I think me and Everett did a good job at that time for basically ad-libbing everything, just trying to work together to make sure Corey's okay. I even think there's a time during the match where you can see the camera go onto Corey, who's on the ground, and you see big time Mike with Corey's leg up on his shoulder trying to stretch it out because, you know, Mike knows a little bit about that kind of stuff. And it was a shame Corey hurt his leg. But, I mean, honestly, it was one of my favorite matches that I had in the yard. It's very memorable. It was the first time you had multiple world champions of different organizations, different companies getting together, being the VTW world title, UWE, and APW. That's why it was based off the Three Kings. So I had a good story behind it. Promo package was phenomenal. And then the build going into the match was very good, in my opinion. I really wouldn't change anything other than Corey not tearing his ACL.
Right.
Well, there's something I'd change at the very end, but
To say, we're going to jump into what happens after the match, too, here in a minute.
Yeah.
But, definitely, I thought you guys put on a pretty good match for the situation that happened with Corey during it. So,
obviously, you can tell things definitely changed. As we all know, the world is it's real, people. But just a little behind the scenes joke. About a week before Best in the Yard 2 happened, Everett said, "Hey, if for any reason Corey gets hurt, you can win," as a joke. And Corey got hurt, so it's Everett's fault that Corey got hurt. And
so Creed kind of jinxed it. Gotcha.
Creed jinxed it, and we laid beside each other at one point, and I said, "Hey, pal, Corey's hurt. I'm going over." And you just see Everett go, "Shit." And I mean, it's a funny moment looking back on it. I hate Corey got hurt, but I mean, it was good for what it was. I mean, those are two really, really good guys in the business. Corey, who I don't get to see near enough. I don't talk to near enough. Always been such a good guy. Everett, who I talk to a couple times a month. Just an all-around phenomenal human being who's doing very successful right now in his day-to-day living. Couldn't be more proud to share the ring. Well, the ring with those two at Best in the Yard too.
Right. Makes it free. Not to take away from you guys that were in the match, but Mike and I were kind of discussing this last time, and I've missed seeing Dirty DeChico as a referee for one thing.
Yeah.
It was so entertaining.
There's actually a back and forth pinning spot where it was like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Dirty hated that stuff.
Yeah, he always hates shit.
And he was like, "Don't you do it in your match." So what did we do? We did
did
the
it
back
in
and forth. And Dirty was the kind of ref, he would whisper crap in your ear and just talk dirty to you the entire time, just talking smack. Like, "You do that again, I'm going to get in there and punch you in the face." Just like little things. I mean, I love Dirty as a ref. Dirty's another guy, just phenomenal human being. I miss him dearly. I mean, such a good guy.
Yeah, man. And
I believe that was the very first time we would hear Arnold and Buford, not Buford, but
so
on
actually,
commentary together.
Yep, it was Arnold, Buford, and the third commentator, which was
Chris Newman.
Chris Newman.
Yes.
Yo, Chris Newman is a really good guy. I don't know if you guys ever met Chris Newman. Super great guy. But yeah, it was the first time you get to see Arnold McDonald and not Buford, Dale Peppers.
Dale Peppers, yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's why I thought then it would be Mother Buford.
On the same commentary table. And I mean, it was phenomenal that it got to be for my match. Because when you think of backyard wrestling and you think of the commentators, those are like the number 1 and number 2 slot commentators you think of.
Absolutely.
So,
I'd agree.
Arnold McDonald eventually got involved in Best in the Yard 3. So, I mean, maybe he was just preparing for his future.
Perhaps he was.
Oh yeah, I loved that match. It honestly was, in my opinion, the perfect way to kick off the show. When I kind of heard the card, I was like, wow, that's a really high stakes match just to kind of throw out there. But I mean, it worked perfect, being the 1st match on the show. I mean, things went awry, and I personally know what Corey's capable of doing, and but I mean, it happened how it happened. Sometimes wrestling just happens, and you can't really change anything. I mean, Aaron is a huge Zack Sabre Jr. fan, and Aaron at the time really had this fad for not wearing his knee pads. He really wanted to open up his strikes with his knees.
Brother, I didn't even know who Zack Sabre Jr. was. And no lie, like you guys couldn't hear us, but as the video package was going on, Nick just randomly looks at me and goes, "You're not wearing knee pads."
Yeah, sorry, Tony. But yeah. The match was good.
All right. So before I get into the highlights of what happened at the end of that match and beyond, H2 says the indie booker in me is curious what went into planning the order of the cards for the Best in the Yard shows.
Well, the indie booker in me, pal. No, actually, I also book indie shows. But so when it came to Best in the Yard, eventually it kind of had to be a cycle. We originally thought it would just be and whatever order we film it in, that's what we'll go. Or we'll watch the matches and then put it in an order. But it really wasn't. I feel like, especially with Best in the Yard 2, the order couldn't have been any different and would have worked. You needed something hot in the beginning, but also with big names to catch the attention. So why not put the world champions in? Because, I mean, it couldn't be the main event at that point. When you had the storyline between Cameron Jackson and Drew Hood, it couldn't. Co-main event of Jason Walker and Tyler Storm. I mean, not a better place for it. You got some fast-paced middle-of-the-match show with Zach Daniels and Chase Bridges. Not long after that, you had Xstatic and Jordan Oliver. You had some slower-paced matches in the beginning just to kind of build you up. And that was the point. We didn't want anything to slow you down. So start off hot, get the people at a certain distance, and just start building up. And that's exactly what we did at Best in the Yard too. I think, like I said, nothing else. Like, it couldn't have been in a different order, in my opinion. Nothing else should have been changed. That's exactly how it should have went.
Agreed.
It's good to me. All right, let's move into the next part of what happened at the end of that match now. And we'll take it from there.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
We're going to mute ourselves for a second while we watch this.
Well, we're going to redo that because I forgot I had it on mute there for a second.
Come on, round up the boys, gonna make the walls rattle. Oh, I like Xstatic and I want to shout it, but it doesn't matter because I'm moving. Round them up, let's go. Round them up, let's go. Oh, I can see it. Double vision from the
So there's a little insight to what we'll be talking about next, obviously. But Merrick comes out and cashes in the Money in the Bank. Everybody thinks it's going to be on Aaron, who gets laid out by Everett. And we see it end up being Corey Graves.
Yeah. I just want to start by saying I think I can speak for everybody here on the VTW roster involved with VTW. We love APW. Okay, we love them very much. I still to this day had no say in what happened. I don't even know how honestly the decision came to be.
I have the story.
Yeah, Aaron. I think Aaron does. I've heard it, and I was just kind of like, I'm more confused than where I started.
Yep. So before all the VTW shows, I was kind of the guy who went and, made sure the tramper ring was good. And I was working on it and getting everything set up. And all of a sudden I see Corey Graves, Everett Creed, and Merrick. We'll just say Merrick. Keep kayfabe alive. Standing out beside the building. And I was like, oh, okay. And like, I saw Corey do like one of these. So I walk over there and Corey goes, so, Everett, you want to tell him what's going on? And I said, oh, God. And they were like, yeah, so we're thinking about having Merrick cash in on Corey. And I was just like, why?
Right.
It waste our briefcase, but I'm like, okay. And me being me, I'm just one of those guys. I want to please the people while they're there. So I'm just like, hey, if y'all want to do something, let's do it. Corey then getting hurt during the match, we didn't know what was going to happen. Well, Corey somehow got back in the ring for the spot, so it's going on, and I'm just like, oh, no. So you see Merrick come out, and people are legitimately freaking out because I'd stayed in Nightshade. People are thinking, wow, the VTW title is about to change hands on Best in the Yard.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, he kicked Corey right in the face. And 1, 2, 3, Corey's the new APW champion. And Charles was not happy because Corey proceeded to not tell Charles.
Oh,
Like I said, I had no say in it. I mean, that's just what they wanted to do. I said, okay, which then led to the FBW All-Stars big, 7 or 8 man match for the APW title.
Right.
Which was pretty cool. We got to see a lot of different names in there.
I was in that.
You were in that. Merrick was in that. TJ Sakara, Big Time Mike, Jason Walker, a couple others. But, I mean, looking back on it now, I just wish he'd cashed in on me if he was going to cash in or just not cashed in at all. But it did give that surprise to the people who were watching live because nobody would have ever expected that to happen on a Best in the Yard. You would expect that to happen. A Halloween Hangover or something. No, Best in the Yard too. It happened. And it was a mistake every bit of the way.
That's how you feel about that. Got it.
That was like UWE production.
We love UWE too.
Got to throw that out there.
I love all those. I love everybody who was there. I mean,
Hell yeah.
All right, let's move on to
the greatest match of all time.
Hell yeah.
next little ditty.
See you around, kid.
Mike.
Short and sweet and to the point.
All it needs to be. So, I'm gonna start this one out because I actually love Avery matches on Best in the Yard.
Oh yeah, me too.
They're my favorite. You always bring in a good character. At the first one, Winnipeg Warrior in the flag match, which was fun.
Flag versus Manscaped.
MX Mystery versus Avery Hope. Who would have ever thought? And see, this is around the time of Trump running for president, and MX Mystery comes out there with the Donald Trump song and his broom, and he's sweeping up the competition. And it was just so good to see somebody come out there and just have some fun. Avery Hope getting the win, and then all of a sudden, there's a masked man getting in the ring. And who could it be? Well, when they take his mask off, they realize it's a masked man named the Hired Gun. Scott. Scott's such a good guy. You had the save by somebody from DRW, Jason Atlas, Buford Jones. That cool moment at the end where they're all posing. Curtain. I mean, it was exactly what it was supposed to be. Just something good, kind-hearted, fun. Get a good laugh. Have some heat for the Hired Gun.
Yeah, man. MX Mystery was probably one of the funniest things I thought was on. I was not expecting it. I didn't even know. I didn't see him get into any of that, and he came out, and I just lost it. Tony, I lost it.
I think it was really good to have that directly after the first match due to MX Mystery being such a good comedic character, surprisingly.
I know.
You had your seriousness in the first match between the three champs, and then you had that dramatic cash in with Corey, knowing he was hurt. And then boom, you finally get something a little bit more lighthearted and fun to watch before your next match, which is real wrestling based.
Which we'll get into. Before I get to the comments, I see a few in there. What
Good.
did you guys take out of the? We've seen a little bit of the promo there. The conversation that we'd see Jordan Oliver and Tyler Storm would have in the back.
So,
You can.
yeah, Jordan Oliver and Tyler Aiken tried to build a match for about 2 years and never had it. To this day, it's something Tyler still wishes he had. Obviously, both of them are independent wrestlers. Jordan's traveled down to our area lately to do some indie shows, and that's like Tyler's one regret is that he never got it. But they built it up a couple times. I know they built it in New York at one time. They built it down here. I mean, they might have clicked. They might not have. Who knows? But I think it was a good little segment for what it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I know both of them wanted the match, especially at that time. You know, and that was a weird time too, you know, because I mean, Jordan was also an indie wrestler at that time, just getting into it. And then, you know, we hadn't really stepped foot in there.
I think Jordan had just wrestled Coco Beware like a couple weeks before he came down to do Best in the Yard too.
Yes, right.
And I mean, just some more insight since we see Jordan here. I mean, I might as well bring it up now. Jordan Oliver and Navon McDonald were never the number one picks for Best in the Yard 2. It was actually Cage and AK. So it was supposed to be Xstatic versus Cage and AK-47 versus Kevin. And we decided to bring in new, fresh faces to the community instead. And I love AK and Cage dearly. They're both two phenomenal guys. I still talk to Fuego a good bit. Fuego del Sol, you keep liking my post on Facebook, pal. We're going to have a match.
And blow me up on Instagram. I don't know if we'll have a match, but we'll see.
But
well, it looks like AK might be dabbing his toes back in that wrestling ring too. So.
Love to step back in the ring.
God, he's so good.
Love.
But like I say for the segment, I mean it introduced that character early on too before the match with Xstatic, because maybe our community didn't quite know him yet, or I mean at least our viewers might not have known him. So that gives a little bit of insight. You know, Tyler saying how he's an independent worker and things like that. It automatically brings intrigue to his name. So to then go on later on and have the match he had, it was completely worth it.
Which we'll dive into that match in a little bit, obviously. But go into this chat section here. Adam Anderson says, I am Xstatic's biggest fan. And somebody who doesn't come in the comment section very often, Dirty to Chico, says, I heard that.
Oh, wait, Tony, there was a little cut out there. Was that Ray Aiken? Who is my biggest fan?
Adam Anderson.
You're not his biggest fan. His biggest fan is Ray Aiken, bro.
Adam, I just about said you had standards, man. That would have been a sorry mistake. So
choking a lemon.
Yeah, I do. I do love you though, bro.
What was good old Dirty to Chico saying?
He just said, I heard that. You heard that we were discussing about him.
Love that guy.
And D'Lo Smith in the comment section says, what's up, folks?
D'Lo!
Man, it's always good to hear from D'Lo.
Dude.
Man, let me tell you about D'Lo Smith right quick. I know that this is Best in the Yard 2 thing, but D'Lo Smith has turned his life around, joined the military, made a family, a beautiful family, man.
Absolutely.
I am beyond proud of that dude. I mean, I was around him when he was going through some tough times, and I mean, he has grown so much just as a human being. I am incredibly proud to call him a friend.
Hell yeah.
He calls me boss man because he says that I remind him of Big Boss Man. But, hey, I mean, such a good guy, such a humble guy, somebody who always wanted to learn, never complained. I mean, such a phenomenal guy. So it's good to hear that he's in the comments.
Hell yeah. It's awesome. I miss you, D'Lo, dearly, brother. Seriously. Come by anytime, bro. Anytime you can. I'd love to see you.
All right. Now let's get back into some of this action.
Right.
We'll get into the comments when people are saying more. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've been shot up, beat up by the falling of the arrow. Yeah, bullet deep cuts right down through the marrow. But there's no doubt we get out from the bottom of it. If you are here, if you're at the back.
Jumping just a little bit on me there. I see we have a guest there back behind you guys.
What are you talking about? Who?
I don't know. Who could that be?
I don't know. Hey,
Looks like a certain person that we've seen in that match clip.
Hi, guys.
TJ. Everybody, TJ Sakara, welcome to Tiger Talks Wrestling, man.
Thank you. First time on the show, actually.
It is.
I'm kind of pissed about that, but hey, what are you gonna do? You know, legend in the yard and all that stuff. But hey, you know, first time experience. I'm a guest to Aaron and Xstatic right now. It's great. It's great. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for the constant hit up saying, TJ, I need you to be on my show. I appreciate it so much because, ladies and gentlemen, there was not a single one. Why is that, Tony?
You wasn't expecting a promo.
Why is that?
You're right. I wasn't.
Why is that, Tony?
Hey, TJ, go back and finish cooking.
I'm gonna. It's Taco Thursday here. Just want to let everybody know. Enjoy everybody's Thursday. Tony, I love you. Big fan. Seriously. Thank you for all the support that you've done for Backyard Wrestling. Seriously, on everything. I really do appreciate you, Tony. And I hope the people that are watching appreciate you as much as we do. Seriously. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to cooking tacos. These guys are the best. Seriously, I love them all with all my heart. Just
I can't just let you leave,
Dustin
TJ.
didn't show up. Dustin didn't show up. So what do you expect? Dustin didn't show up.
Right. Unless he just walks off. I mean, hey.
Sorry, man. TJ came down to hang out for about a week and a half, and it just was perfect timing that he was here at the same time we were doing this. And I was like, "Pal, when your match comes up, we just need you to come in."
Great timing.
Yeah.
Nice little surprise there. Caught me off guard, that's for sure. But,
well, what can we
anyway,
say? Dustin didn't show.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that fact. It was supposed to be the tag team match. I've heard they were supposed to have that tag team match at Biddy 4, I do believe, as well. Dustin couldn't appear there. It ended up being one-on-one. I'm honestly hoping we see that match at some point in time if there's a possibility.
Actually, Dustin at Best in the Yard 4. The crazy thing is the match got lost that he was in. It was actually Dustin Reagan versus Everett Creed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The match.
Fantastic,
the
too.
match,
That's right. I did hear that.
Yep, the footage got corrupt, which was sad. We actually had to change around the card. TJ's match at Best in the Yard 4 also got corrupt. He actually wrestled Arnold McDonald in a street fight.
I heard that one too.
Like, it was crazy. But going back to the 2-on-1 handicap match, I mean, once again, let's go back to the basis of the card. Good story in the first match, kind-heartedness in the second match, and then you had some really good wrestling in the third. I always thought D-Lock clicked with both these guys, whether it was Jay or Ricky, who are both, all three guys are just phenomenal. Obviously, TJ's at my house. But, I mean, I think I also hated, though, that it wasn't the tag match, because at that point, we hadn't had a tag match at Best in the Yard.
Right.
We didn't have a tag match at Best in the Yard until the third with the Bad Sons Summer Extravaganza.
Yeah.
And it sucked because we really wanted TOP and Killer Instinct to have that match. And they just didn't get to, which sucked. And then we tried it again. Didn't happen. It sucked.
Well, and what was also really awesome about that match was I think for D-Lock, as far as a BTW competitor, it really kind of I mean, not that he really needed it, but it gave him a really big like it really showed what he was capable of. I mean,
right,
because he was taking on two guys, and he was kind of the underdog, and I think it really propelled him into that.
So,
Yeah, he kind of showed what he had in him, so as to speak, and that he could be an Iron Man as well, in my opinion, through that match.
I watched a little bit of it. I enjoyed it.
Sorry, we had another guest walk in.
What's up, Nick?
Somebody that we're very familiar with.
Listen,
I knew he was
Hey,
gonna
Cam.
go with that.
Listen, Tony, you're doing a good thing here. Update for all the workers that keep bugging me. It'll be ready soon.
There you go. Thank you.
All right.
Dropping by.
Look, somebody else comes in, I'm drop kicking them because there's nobody else to come in.
Well, it would be right if I didn't have VTW guys on here and have people jump in.
Yo, let me tell you, if Merrick comes in here and tries to catch you, and that's it.
All right, but
anyway.
yeah, back to what I was saying. You know, D-Lock was in a position in VTW where he kind of had came in as like one of Dustin's dudes, and I think this match, not because Dustin didn't show up, but I think D-Lock alone just facing TOP, a really established tag team, kind of just showed like I don't need that. Like I am my own entity, and I can hang. And he did more than show he could hang. I mean, he really showed what he could do, and it was it was amazing. I remember watching it ringside and just being like, wow, like he's really kicking ass right now.
Yeah, I think that was the actual point where we realized, okay, D-Lock's got it. I mean, we always knew D-Lock was going to be something big when he first came in, but that day exactly, we were like, okay, this guy's got something, which I mean led to multiple title reigns, being in factions. I mean, a lot of cool things. Winning Turbulence briefcase, which nobody's cashing in right now. Just making sure. I didn't know if D-Lock was about to walk through the door with the briefcase, but yeah, D-Lock really proved himself that day. In my opinion, if anybody had a whole lot to prove that day, it was D-Lock.
Hell yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because at that point, he was like, okay, I'm going up against the best tag team in backyard wrestling at that time by myself. So let me prove to everybody why I should be by myself. And that's exactly what he did.
You got to give kudos to him. He did manage to pin TJ Sakara during that match and eliminated him, which I have to bring up. TJ would then, of course, help Ricky win the match not long after. But it was a great match for the situation that they were put in my opinion. All three kind of showed up.
I completely agree. Shame Dustin couldn't show up.
It really was kind of like a blessing in disguise.
It was,
because we were all worried, we're like, oh God, what are we gonna do? And then we really, like, after the match played out, we were like, wow, that probably couldn't have gone any better.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I get into this before I jump into that promo and then the next match. D'Lo in the comment section saying, "Appreciate it, brothers. I'm listening all the way through, and I will be back."
Amen.
Brother Cam's a goat.
Just D'Lo, remember, we are gathered. We are.
Right.
Say that shit get me hyped. Sorry, Tony.
You're all good. Moving on.
Oh.
You are here. If you are in the back, show your face to everyone here. Oh my God, you're here. Yes, I am, and it's good to see you. He's not here tonight. I am. What do you say, Kevin? I accept. Oh, the best in the art. You accept? Well, let me tell you something. Once that bell rings, you and I ain't friends no more. I'm gonna beat you like you're a fool on a tree. You understand what I'm saying? Round them up, let's go. Round them up, let's go. Oh, I can see it.
All right, so a couple things to unfold there. First, the first time we'd seen Yvonne McDonald on VTW programming, technically, in Best of the Yard.
Yo, first off, it is crazy to not hear Navon McDonald come out and tell, my name is Navon McDonald. And
I know, right?
to hear him come out to Jason Aldean, I mean, I thought it was part of the promo package y'all were making. And I was like, no, he came up to Jason Aldean. Oh, that popped me.
But bring up the point, thought it was a good way for Kevin to be out there. He's obviously calling out Novin, but gets Navon coming out instead. Navon says, hey, Novin's not here. I'm here. I'll fight you tonight.
Oh, yeah,
Pretty good way for... What's that?
Oh, I forgot about that. Novin hit Kevin with a car.
Yeah.
On the build up to that match.
Yes, we did.
That was great.
But, it was pretty interesting. And good way for everybody to see Navon for the perhaps first time for that audience at that point, anyway. Do I have? Okay. So then we jump in, as we've seen there. It was Zach Daniels, Chase Bridges. I believe it was one of the first times we've really seen a whole lot of Chase. Was not too long before Best in the Yard 2 in VTW wise. Billed as brother versus brother for that match. What do you guys remember the lead up to that match in particular as well?
So the lead up actually started at the Reunion Rumble that year. Chase Bridges has been talking a lot of crap, wanting to get a match with Zach Daniels, and Chase showed up to our Rumble. And him and Big Tasty.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Hey, Big Tasty. Good guy. But Chase had came, and they started building it there, and then they wanted to build more of a story behind it, not so much just a match, because we all knew the match was going to be good. I mean, Chase Bridges, Zach Daniels.
Right.
And it's crazy to think, obviously, Chase Bridges eventually joined VTW, and, I mean, they had multiple matches. But to see those two get in at that time, Chase being one of, if not the youngest guy on the show, coming to prove a point against Zach, who was at that time very established, known as one of the best in the yard. I mean, it was insane. But the brother versus brother storyline, I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it originally, personally. I felt like it had been overdone, but they played it off really well. But they do look a lot alike, except now because Zach's bald. And I'm not talking about like VTW bald. I mean, he's bald. So they don't look like each other anymore. But Chase is also somebody who has grew a ton as a human being. Somebody super good to see not long ago.
Oh, yeah.
But the match was completely and utterly solid. I mean, a lot of crazy stuff. They basically went out there to be like, okay, we're here to work, and that's what they did.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that match, Chase definitely had something to prove. I hate going back to that point.
But it's true.
But yeah, I mean, Chase, you know, he wasn't new to our audience. I think a lot of our audience knew DRW and knew exactly who he was, had definitely watched a lot of DRW content. But I think, you know, Chase, I mean, that match was just really, really good. I mean, we all knew at the time what Zach was capable of, especially, you know, I mean, going off Best in the Yard 1 with Daisy. I mean, you know, that match, in my opinion, is one of the trampoline classics.
Oh, yeah.
In our yard. And, you know, I think Zach and Chase really proved what both of them could do together. A lot of really creative and, you know, really just, I mean, it told a really good story. I really enjoyed that match. I can still go back and watch it, you know, full way through.
Yeah.
It's one of those I can really sit through and watch.
And it's hard for us to go back and watch some of that old stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But that is like the show altogether. It's something that,
yeah.
I mean, we've went back and watched multiple times here at my house, and
oh yeah,
I mean, just sat back and relaxed and just tried to have some fun while watching that old Best in the Yard stuff. But 2 is by far the easiest to go back and watch because of matches like that.
Right. All right. I think this video package had a little bit backwards, but we're going to jump in. There's nothing else to add to that one. Yes, definitely Zach and Chase put on quite the match. We've seen, of course, wasn't just the 2 of them that were involved in the match either. But
oh, well, yeah.
Mrs. Daniels, she's actually on our couch right now, too, she said, but she's not coming for a run-in.
Yeah, no. She's too shy for that. Very shy.
Yeah.
Or she likes dance. She loves dance.
She's also had too much tequila to come in here.
That's probably true.
So, on a Thursday.
Not to bust through any fourth walls.
But Yeah, I mean, she got a big little part in the match. Also, referee Ponytails got knocked out.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Guy's a true champ. He's been reffing all of his life.
Still is to this day.
Wearing the same pair of swim trunks.
Yep.
That are too small for him. And you know,
about those.
he goes out there and really gives it his all. And they broke 3 of his teeth during that match, and we haven't heard from him since. He was replaced by a referee, I believe goes by the name Jimmy John.
Jimmy Johns. Yep.
If I'm correct.
But referee
Hello.
Pony actually out in Arizona reffing
Mm-hmm.
right now. For sure. No doubt. Not a lie. Not a word.
Yeah.
Shoot.
All right. Good little tidbit. Jump into this next match, highlight package. A little bit lengthier package for it because it was one of the biggest matches at that point in time. So, let's see what we got. Dang, I didn't know that long.
BW. It's got some really bad stuff going on. If you guys haven't watched, Levon McDonald has been lost. It's hard to watch. It's upsetting. Novin, I don't know who you are. I will enter you and get my friend back. Now, if I need to drive my ass to BW and kick your ass now, I will.
Gavin Shaw. My name is Novin. Good luck finding another challenger for you, because you're not worthy for me.
Novin decided to say no. I don't know why. I don't know if he's ever going to face me. But I decided to take actions in my own hands. I will look the demon in his own eyes and say, fight me. That was weird. My GPS just gave me a notification to turn.
And even trying to take it upon yourself to journey to my Federation BW here in New York when I had that accident occur. I could have had the ministry take you and bring you to me and end you there. Shaw, that is your final warning. I will watch your body rot as I claim your soul.
Okay, didn't realize that was pretty much going to be the whole match, so I will just go to the highlight video package of that, so we don't have a 20+ minute video here. I think I got it all set up, so we'll dive into that here in just a moment. Whoops. So we can get that, and then I'll just have to go back a little bit for the match that was after it, that in the video packages before.
Yep. You just push that door. Since they're loud out there.
Here we go.
Push your heel. Good enough.
So that was definitely a small version recap of it instead of watching the full
20 minutes
match that I didn't realize Mr. Awesome had put out there on the VTW channel, or NUW channel, rather. Sorry.
Don't worry, he's been in the comments.
He hasn't, unfortunately. I don't know what's up with that, but still. We'll get into it.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
I will let him know that. Nonetheless, quite the match that Kevin and Navon had there. We see at the end kind of a little bit of Novin come out. What did you guys take from that match? And then I will mention what Dirty was in the comments section.
I read it.
Well, you know, I think one of the craziest things about that match, you know, Kevin, I think this is one of Kevin's really first big time. And, you know, me and Kevin were both in a position where we're wrestling somebody that we hadn't really met. And so he was kind of with me through the whole thing. And I think it was really cool watching go toe-to-toe with Navon, because Navon is a very interesting competitor to wrestling. Novin is so. I don't know if anybody's really talked in depth about this. I probably did on my last Tiger Talks Wrestling. Novin is a different, even without the paint, like it's a different it's like a flash in Navon. Very intimidating.
Yeah, it's not just a character. It's real.
It's kind of freaky, and you really see it in eyes. But you know, aside from Novin, this match was really awesome. I loved watching it ringside. Obviously, those guitar shots, Navon getting flipped off the stairs, Jesus. You know, I mean, yeah, it's always a pleasure watching two guys really put on a story, a fantastically told contest that you really can just understand by just really enjoying it and watching it. You know, both those guys are awesome people. I love Kevin to death. I haven't seen him in a long time. I really wish I could see Kevin more. I've seen Navon kind of recently, but you know, it's always a pleasure to see both of them. One of my favorite matches on the show for sure, without a doubt.
Well, I'll start it off by saying, one, if you follow Kevin on Twitter, go watch his Twitch streams. He talks about him on his Twitter, just as a shout out. But yeah, so with Kevin and Navon, if you actually notice the same thing we did with Jordan, we did with Navon there, where they got some kind of promo before their match. That way the character got introduced before it was actually on screen with the match. And obviously with Navon McDonald, it's much different than wrestling Novin. But like Xstatic said right there at the end, you can actually see it in his eyes. It's honestly one of the scariest things, because you'll actually see Navon sitting there getting his face painted and his demeanor changes. I mean, it's something comes up over him. But
laughing and
yeah,
like it's really odd. The whole process.
Pretty sure Navon needs to be locked up. But Navon's one of my dearest friends in the world. I love him so much. But yeah, the most memorable thing of the entire match though is after Kevin wins, taking 2 guitar shots from Navon
in the back.
Actually, like not only that, but Navon disrespecting the American flag by draping it on the ground over top of Kevin. I remember I remember after cameras cut, Kevin laid there for a little bit. I mean, Kevin was in a bad place right after that match. But I mean, it really proved a point that, you know, the guys who were coming from, I was about to say NUW, but BEW New York at the time, now NUW, they were coming to be like, hey, we can hang with you guys. And that's exactly what they did, especially Navon right here at this point. It was a big match for Kevin, though, because at that point, Kevin hadn't had many high-caliber matches to that level. So it was good for Kevin. It was really good for Navon. It was a good introduction to the community. It was a good introduction to Best in the Yard. So I wouldn't have done it any different.
So speaking on the Kevin point, of course, we've seen Kevin in Best in the Yard 1 against you, Aaron. Quite the difference of a character, I guess you would say, between the two shows for him, and just the different showing for him altogether.
I think between Best in the Yard 1 and 2, Kevin really grew, not only as a competitor, as a character, as a person. Kevin, at the time of Best in the Yard 1, he was still a part of CCW Wrestling and a tag team with a guy named Alex. And Alex Storm? Was that it? Yeah, they were like the Freedom Fighters or something like that. Some patriotic little tag team. Kevin was like the main bump guy. His tag partner was the one who could do all the flashy stuff. So Kevin had a point to prove that he could go too. We went 1-on-1 at Biddy 1 in the ladder match, and it was okay. But Kevin had really grown within that next year, like especially going in against Navon. Like if you go watch Best in the Yard 1 and then you go watch Best in the Yard 2, it's like a completely different person.
Right.
Honestly, I think he's the character who had developed partially the most throughout the Best in the Yards. Like moving into 3 with character work with Victor Van Pelt, into 4 where it's the first time you really got to see Kevin be a bad guy and you just really wanted to punch him in his face.
Right.
He also had that soccer mom haircut, which made me want to hit him again. But character work, man, Kevin really got it at that point.
Absolutely. I agree. Dirty, of course, mentioning Shaw versus Navon was lit. Nino says somebody's got to tell me Kevin still has that dent in his head.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure it grows every day. But I mean, that was a nasty guitar shot. I mean,
yeah,
there was 2 of them, but somebody else took one later in the show, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life.
We'll get into that shortly. Of course, speaking of Dirty, we'll get into one of his matches here shortly too. That was quite.
That's actually the match that I am looking most forward to talking about.
Yeah, I have a lot to say.
That's one of everybody's favorite memories in our community. So I can't wait for that one. I feel like we've missed a match.
Matches away
Later on, but
we didn't miss match.
It was before mine.
They were flipped a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you. Okay.
It's okay. The match that I'm thinking we were missing, if we missed it, it'd have been okay.
But it's probably the next match that we're going to be watching the highlights for.
I'm excited either way.
Demolition.
Not good positioning.
Now, I presume that was a match you guys were referring to because, for 2 reasons. One, this video package did have it, these 2 matches the other way around. The match card did, but on actual Best in the Yard 2, which I was just going through a little bit before we started the show, it was this match after Kevin and Navon.
One, Timothy Hand, Insanity, was in that casket the entire time, which was gold. And Diablo fell asleep during the match.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, he literally he fell asleep. Yeah, he fell asleep during the match.
Oh, I
love Diablo.
So I honestly, the man behind the face paint knows I hate that character. I've always hated that character, and it's only because he loves it so much. It's actually a phenomenal character.
Yeah, Lips is a very interesting. When you wrestle Lips,
And you have.
yes, I know, right? It's really hard to believe. But yeah, it's really weird. Because you meet the guy behind the face paint, right? So similar to Nova, but not scary or like intimidating. It's like it's scary in the sense that like you're afraid he's gonna go too far, but he won't.
And he will. Ask Big Time Mike.
Well,
we talked about it.
luckily I didn't get the Big Time Mike treatment, but I personally I didn't notice that Diablo had fallen asleep, but I really again, I thought it was a cool stipulation for the match. It's always cool to see a casket match anywhere on any show.
Except on an indie show in Gaston, North Carolina, 2 years ago. Thanks, Levy. Only so many people understand that, but yeah. So it was different because it was the stip match of a casket, which we hadn't seen at Best in the Yard, and honestly, not a lot of our community had seen at that point. I mean, we had a couple of them. I know NUW moved on to have a couple of them, and then UWE had to throw everybody under the bus and go ahead and do Buried Alive. Yes. But I mean, I know I crap on the character as a joke, but honestly, Lips is probably one of the most profound characters the Yard had.
Absolutely.
It was one of the most original characters, and at the same time, it was a character that you could believe in because when you saw Lips, like you knew, okay, this is a freak, and that was the freak show. Like I said, the guy behind the face paint, I'll just keep saying it that way. He knew exactly what he was going to do, and he did it, and he played that character to his best ability. I will say Carlos at the time. You can tell he wasn't into it as much, and eventually he got back into it a lot. Like I said, dear God, the guy fell asleep during the match. But I think for what it was good.
Having insanity in the casket.
Having insanity in the casket was my favorite part.
Yeah.
When he busted out. But I will say, like, at that time, the man behind the face paint always had to have Lips on the show. So he was going to fight for that no matter what. He wanted that match, so we gave it to him. And he was happy with it. So, hey, if he's happy, I'm happy.
Gotcha. We got Difference Maker, nudge, in the comment section now. As in Yankee, the Difference Maker. He says, Carlos fell asleep, LMAO. Aaron, hashtag bring that bitch.
Hashtag what?
Bring that bitch.
Hashtag bring that bitch.
Bring that bitch.
Yes, that's what he says.
I heard that.
Look, let me tell you, completely off subject, completely off character. When it comes to everybody I got to sit down and meet in the Yard, nobody has meant more to me than Yankee. Me and him have had a lot of deep conversations, and he's been there for me at some lows. I've been there for him. He opened his house to me. I've opened my house to him. If you look at me and you look at him, he's just the Puerto Rican version of me. A lot of people say it, I'm the white version of him. We're very similar people. We like the same stuff. We like the same comedy. But at the end of the day, I also know if I'm having a bad day and I shoot that guy a Snapchat, he's going to make me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all that matters. I don't know. It's always been a dream of mine to wrestle the guy. So hopefully it happens soon, sooner than later. I mean, I'd love for it to happen. Maybe Yankee, you can bring your bitch self down here and we can wrestle. But much love to you either way, pal.
He also mentioned Mr. X. Love you guys. Love that shirt, Tony. MC representing.
Oh, shit. Okay. Nice, Tony.
Corey Graves also in the comment section now says, there's some of the boys.
Corey, how's your knee doing?
Corey.
I miss him so much. Like, I hate he wasn't here when I was talking about him earlier. Such a good guy.
Yeah, man.
Just such a phenomenal human being.
Corey, I miss you so much, dude. We need to actually have. I just need to wrestle all these people in the comments.
I realized. So on the Indies, I had a big triple threat ladder match. I was defending a championship that I had, and Corey was in the crowd that night. It just hit me that Corey drove down here, and he was there for that. Like, that's really cool.
That's really cool. I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Why wasn't I here?
All right, so get back into those before we get into that. Yankee says, "Love you, brother. You might not want to, brother. I could definitely put you to rest." MC for life.
Well, my bed's back there, pal. Go ahead and try.
Rest.
Corey
Corey says, "I miss the hell out of you guys."
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see Corey soon.
Oh yeah, very soon.
And Dirty says, "Xstatic knows he ducked a match with me for 4 years straight."
Hey, no, off camera. You know what? We're gonna get into this right now. Best in the yard. Was it 3 or 4?
I have no idea.
Because the ring was in the building. Dirty has always brought this up. Okay, and I always said I wanted the match. It never got booked. Okay, let me tell you, we had a grapple. Me and the Chico.
You did.
Had a grapple. Now he didn't know I was a wrestler, a
school wrestler.
scholastic wrestler in high school. And so, he was trying to put all his weight on me, dude. I slammed Dirty to Chico. He can't deny it. It was in front of everyone.
And it's on camera.
Picked him up and slammed him and beat him at a wrestling contest. But the real match does need to end. Hey, Dirty, come back, bro. I'm still here. I'm still breathing. Where you at? I'm not even just trying to make a plug right now. Dirty, where you at?
Dirty looked like an off-brand Blake Shelton.
All right.
I can see that in that picture.
I love Antonio.
Me too. He's one of my favorite people.
I love every time he came down here. And he was down here for a lot there for a while. It was always good to see him.
You put quotations around slammed, Nick.
Slammed. We got to move on, Nick. We got to move on.
I have so much to say, Tony. Yeah, move on. Move on. Antonio's scared. Move on.
He says, "I'll be seeing you guys very soon."
I hope, brother. I miss you.
So. Seriously, I love that.
Dirty, I got to resend your package. They keep sending it to me. Dirty ordered something from me. They keep sending it back to me for some reason. It's actually on my bed. It's under my covers right now. I just put my covers over everything that was on my bed.
Something under the Jones covers. Okay, what's the next match? Sorry.
Well, if you're paying attention, you should know the next match.
I know what it is.
You're quite familiar with Xstatic.
Okay. Backyard wrestling. It's a little different. I know it's a little different. 1-800-BOOM SHOT isn't who I am. You all thought that I was somebody who was a hero.
Tony. 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 Tony, it's Cam Jackson. Tony. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Cameron.
Hey, I got something quick I gotta say. Can you put the camera on
Let
yourself?
me put it quick.
Real quick. I'm gonna get out of you guys'. I know this is you guys' show. I just need to say something. This guy
Go
right
for it,
here.
Cam.
This guy right here doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for our era. I love this guy internally. He's the reason you're looking at these two right here. You're looking at what started all this. Best in the art. Him and me. Love this guy. Good guy.
Thank you, bro.
Good guy. All right, you can get back to your video because I'm going now.
Tony, what the fuck?
Light switch.
Oh, what the hell?
Get out.
What's up, TJ?
Okay.
Don't drink before 21. I'm 27. I can drink.
TJ.
I love you guys, seriously. I love everybody.
I'm older than all you guys, so what's your point?
All right,
Dirty's
Tony.
probably in the comments right now, just regretting life.
Yeah. All right, Tony. I don't know if you want to restart it.
Wait, did Cam interrupt it completely?
Yes.
Yes, he interrupted it.
Which is fine. Which is fine. I understand.
That's okay. We'll
my heart with that.
Taco
we'll
Thursday.
start from where we paused it at, but I'll get into the comments real quick first since we paused for a minute. Yankee saying Aaron wanting to wrestle me with quotes around the whole thing.
Was what?
Aaron wanting to wrestle me from Yankee. That was his point. Dirty saying I was about to say, where's my shit, Aaron? Aaron probably wrote the address upside down or some shit. And also Dirty says somebody put a muzzle on TJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody put a muzzle on TJ.
All right. Let's get back to that video package, shall we?
Uh-oh.
Tony, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Tony.
Now you can.
Yeah.
Cool.
Forgot about all the extracurriculars after the match, but man,
Yeah. There's a lot.
unprotected guitar shot. Walk us through that?
Well, I'll go into it a little bit. Me and Jordan, we're kind of talking about the match, and Navon comes up to me, and he goes, well, hey, I brought 3 guitars, and I'm using 2 of them in me and Kevin's matches. So I was kind of thinking, what if I hit you with one? And I'm like, okay, great. He has these filtered fake guitars, and I was like, okay, I'll take it handcuffed. He's like, splendid, great. So during the match, it comes time, and Aaron had these metal handcuffs. I was like, fuck it, screw it. And so Jordan's handcuffing me, and I'm like, oh god, here it comes.
This is one half of that handcuff still.
Oh well, okay. And then yeah, man, sure enough, Navon clocked me right about here with that guitar, and to be honest, I kind of got knocked out for about 3 seconds. I don't really remember anything other than Jordan kind of picking me back up after I'd been unhandcuffed. And yeah, it was really crazy. I wasn't, those are real guitars. I think I don't think any of his guitar shots have been with anything filtered or fake. I really need to stress that to fans.
No guitar strings were loosened.
Yeah,
so the strings hurt just as bad.
I actually have the guitar hanging up at my mom's house where I lived at the time. It's still hanging up on the wall. Yeah, man, it was gnarly. That was probably one of the hardest hits I've taken to the head.
Oh yeah.
In the yard. There's been a couple, but that one was definitely probably the worst, I would imagine.
Right. So I got a little theme apparently with 2 out of 3 falls matches, because if you guys have seen the little video at the beginning or see the thumbnails I use, the match that's my favorite match on the card is what you see a little snippet from that match of, the little picture from.
Oh.
So that'd be this match for this show. It was Zach and Daisy from the first one.
Which was also
yeah. Well, Tony, yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It was the match that stole the show, in my opinion. On that too. So.
Let's go.
Yeah, this match, honestly, even after doing 4 best in the yards, I mean, obviously, I was nowhere where I'm at now with my in-ring work, but the thing about it is, I think that match is still my favorite best in the yard match, and not because I won or because I wrestled Jordan or anything like that. I think this is one of the only best in the yard matches where I've really gotten to kind of do a lot of what I wanted to do. And I was honestly, and this is something that dawned on me like about a week ago. You learn the business, and a lot of the wrestlers really understand what I'm talking about here. And you really start to learn as you start to kind of go forward in it. I really respect Jordan for coming and doing that with me, because he didn't have to.
Right.
And he did a lot for me. I mean, he did a lot. I did a lot for him, but he did a lot for me. And I never realized how much that really meant to me until now. It's kind of crazy, but it's just one of those things that, I really, everything. And this is one of those matches I can actually show little snippets to people who ask about backyard wrestling and me doing backyard wrestling. I show them the Joker driver through the trash can, or the brain buster on the ropes, or the Quacking driver I gave him the guitar shot. I mean, it really, and honestly, just something that the boys know that I don't think a lot of the fans know. I went into that match, and the one person I wanted to impress, believe it or not, was Big Time Mike. And yeah, after you watch the match, you probably after the Joker driver and everything, and I'm saying some stuff, and I slam the trash can down. I look at Mike and I drop an elbow,
and it is so beautiful.
And he just said, "That's my boy. That's all I needed. That was it. That's it. All I worked for."
Well, I mean, up to that point,
yeah,
not many people in the yard worked a style like Dirty, or like Dirty too, but like Mike was very hard hitting and would throw you around on the ground. So, I mean, not many guys did it. So to get an approval from Big Time Mike, I mean, I know meant a lot to him because those aren't easy matches to do. No. I mean, by any means. I mean, I wrestled Dirty to Chico in the rain one time in a hardcore match. I mean, they're not fun. So, I mean, to get Big Time Mike's admiration for him, I mean, it was a cool thing.
Yeah. And I mean, that was, like I was saying, like this is a very special match to me. Looking back now, this is probably one of my favorite yard matches that I had, and it really kind of, I don't know, it's one of the matches I really got to go just balls to the wall and just do whatever I wanted,
and you did,
yeah, and with somebody who could do the same thing, and that's hard to find. Honestly, I like I said, it's hard to believe looking back on it now that Jordan did as much for me as he did. And I'm very appreciative of that.
And you guys wrestled throughout the entire area, or, whatever you want to call it, in the pop cans, around the shed.
Oh yeah. I mean, and, we had certain ideas, but we were like kind of looking at how everything was going to be laid out. And we weren't able to do a couple of them just because there was an actual risk of us breaking necks or splitting our heads open, just getting really injured. So
I think it's also crazy that the area that y'all went to fight into eventually became the area where we did VTW.
Yeah.
We got the ring.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I really like that match. That's one of the main trampoline matches I can look back to and be like, that really was an era, especially for my character. Even seeing it now, it's hard to believe it's lasted as long as it has, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, truly a match with standards, Tony. Truly a match. I'm glad that you. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Yeah, that Joker driver definitely was one of my favorite parts of the match. Seeing the sliced bread off the garage, I believe it was, from Jordan to you.
Yeah.
Two definitely big spots in that match.
Oh yeah.
Impressive spot.
Yeah, and he was, and before we had done the match, we were talking about the Joker driver. I told him I wanted to do one to him, and he was like, "Oh, brother, I'll do it on some light tubes on a chair or whatever." And I was like, "I don't know about all that, man. My fingers getting torn up by glass.
Right.
There's a lot I'll do. Body slams on forks, and but no
body slams on forks.
I don't know about glass yet. It would have to be a certain situation.
I think a trash can was memorable enough.
Yeah, that's pretty gruesome.
Especially compared to what's going to happen later on in the show with some hardcoreness.
Oh God.
Yeah, which we'll get into soon. Also, a little shout out to the dark side that you had at the end of the match too.
Yeah, and that actually, I'll touch on that just a little bit. And I've never really gotten to speak openly about this to you either, Tony, because I know you're one of the people that's really wanted to see it. I've always wanted to wrestle the dark side. Ever since I first watched BEW or BWE, sorry. No, BEW.
Yeah, BEW New York.
At the time, he was one of my favorites to watch, and we were kind of at a point where we could start building something, and we kept building something, and just things never lined up, and it's really hard, and it sucks because I know Dark Side also wants the match, and I really want the match. That's one of the ones I want before I'm done on YouTube for good or however. I want to wrestle the Dark Side, and at the time it was setting up for that, and some people took it as I was just kind of putting that over my whole match, but that wasn't the truth. The truth was just I really wanted that, and I wanted to call him out in the right way, and I think I did. I mean, I think I got his attention, and it's still on me. I think if it does happen, it's not going to be for the faint of heart.
I mean, it's not something he's just saying for your podcast. I mean, literally, Nick
Yeah.
talked to me about this like 3 days.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is something that I want, and I want to make it very publicly known. I'm not just trying to get out of it. I want it. And I mean, I hope to God it happens. Whatever I got to do, I'll do it, I guess, to make it happen. But beyond the dark side, yeah, And then also in VTW, I was, as far as the heel turn goes, I was kind of, it was a weird position. I was a heel at the time, and then I was playing kind of a good guy in the mat. I was standing. However, you saw the point of view. I guess some wrestlers were like, Jordan's the good guy because he's the pro. I'm the good guy because I'm the yard, the yarder, the yarder.
Yeah, that's weird to hear now.
I know, but it's really odd, kind of that whole stigma about it. But I think it somehow the story somehow played out. But I wanted to establish that I was still a very bad guy at the time. And I had standards, and nobody was going to take that away from me.
Right.
Daggone standards.
That's a good way to show it after the match was over. You got the crowd to turn against you anyway. So
For sure. Yeah, man.
Right. Move on to the next match, shall we?
Alrighty.
So we're into the final 3 matches. These clips are going to be a little bit longer because they were technically the co-main events of the show. So just a little heads up there for you.
That's fine.
Oh, hell.
Mine's a little cat drug in. WGO responds to big time bitches challenge and big time Mike Sharp. And you accepted my challenge. You can run on for a long time. Run on. Dirty to Chico, I am a veteran. I am a legend in the world of professional wrestling. I am the greatest sports entertainer to ever enter an arena. I am your daddy. I am your father. And at Best in the Yard, you will be my biatch. Until that midnight rider. You want to make this biggest thing in Best in the Yard? Oh, we'll make it the biggest thing in Best in the Yard. Cut them down. Cut them down. And I'll always be there. Keep talking that trash. I'll be in your head talking about what a sorry piece of trash you are. What a sorry white piece of trash your mama raised. What a sorry whore she was. And how disappointed your dead daddy is gonna be. He spoke to me with a voice so sweet. I thought I heard the shuffle of angels. He called my name and my heart stood still. When he said, John, go do my will. Well, you see, big time, unlike you, who claims that no matter what day it is, what time, or what's on the line, you always deliver. You are delivering yourself to the ass whipping of a lifetime. I am the salvation, and I am the promised land for me. There comes a time, big time, Mike, where the only way to solve a problem is with brute force and ignorance. When at Best in the Yard, you've given up your life to me. I take you, and I bury you 6 feet under. When I bury you in front of God and everybody, and I'm standing on top of your grave, and I say, I told you so. I told you that it doesn't matter what day it is, what time it was on the line, I always deliver. Not be nearly enough on the line for you to deliver this time. Always look a man in his eyes, and if you blink, you've already lost. That's always you want to burn down backyard wrestling? Wait for it! You're going to start it. Wait for it! Even if I got to light you up myself. Big time, baby! Oh, you are a sorry piece of white trash. Get out of here. Dog! Get the fuck out. I want to hear what you say. Oh! Do it.
What?
That was wrong, Mike. That was wrong. That was wrong.
So yeah, that was Mike and Dirty's quit match. Quickly into that match, Dirty was technically Templar in UWE at that point in time, and Mike, as mentioned, he was mentioning on the last show, had to bring out Dirty because he just felt like he needed Dirty in this match and not Templar, which I think it's pretty obvious that you had to have the Dirty character here for that one.
That was something we all said. I mean, no matter what, with it being Antonio and Michael, it would have still worked. But it would not have worked the same with it being Templar. 30 to Chico needed to be there. But watching that promo package again brought back a lot of memories. I mean, Dirty said early on how he wanted it to be the biggest thing at Best in the Yard, and dang it if they didn't try for that. Also, like, being really personal, telling Dirty, you know, your dead daddy. I mean, just things like that. The blink with Mike where he's like, if you blink, and he never blinked. But one thing that promo package didn't bring up was a name. It was a man named Paris Smith. And Paris Smith was a huge build to that storyline. So basically, sorry, Cam yelled in the living room. Paris Smith was a man that Big Time Mike had kidnapped and tortured.
Yes.
And just beat down because of Dirty. And, I mean, that wasn't really mentioned in that promo package. And I was just like, I strictly remember. And to this day, I mean, it's been years since we did Best in the Yard 2. I will never forget the name Paris Smith for some reason. But there's two things. The chain whip was terrible, and the clock.
Yeah.
Because he broke that clock over Mike's head, and he goes, I thought it was plastic.
Yeah, dude. I can remember a couple things from that match, kind of specific.
Dear God.
What, bitch?
Carlo! Hey, hold on. Yo, we said we didn't think another person would run. It's Diablo, and he didn't fall asleep this time.
That's perfect.
Sorry, Tony. We're having a fucking reunion. We wasn't expecting that. Long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see.
We'll be done in just a little bit. Honestly, was not expecting that one. The other two we knew was happening.
Right?
So
Okay.
that was cool.
But back to what I was saying. So the chain whip was the first time I ever saw Mike feel pain. Literally, you can see him grab the chain as hard as he can. Because, dude, he was whipping. I mean, man, watching this ringside was like gruesome.
I'm gonna shut this door.
You know, I mean, I just remember watching those guys beat the hell out of each other. And like the one thing I'll never forget ever is it's itched in my mind. Aside from the chain whip and another thing, which I'll get to here in a little bit, was when Mike was cut open. I looked at him when I was in the crowd. I said, "Are you okay? Like, for real, dude, are you okay?" Because he was just losing blood.
It was bad.
And he just looks at me and blows me a kiss. He goes, "That kiss was to me."
Yeah.
All right. But the most gruesome part of that match, and I'll never forget it, because there was lots of BYW fixes. There was lots of backyard politics. There was a lot of half. There's one thing Dirty to Chico had. And he would show it to us on Google Hangouts and stuff. He had this bed, right? And he would pull this bedpost off, and he said,
"It's a table leg."
Oh,
behind his bedpost.
Yeah. He would say, "This is all I need right here. Anybody breaks in my fucking house, dude, they're dead." All right, and straight up,
he brought it.
Watching Mike hit him, the sound of that out. Is it mahogany? What do you think?
I don't know what it was, but dear God, it sounded terrible.
Disturbing. That thud, and like his elbow after it was black. Like it was just black. It wasn't even bruised. It was just black. Like
between that, the chain whips. Like I said, that was the first time I'd seen Mike wince, where he grabbed the chain so he didn't hit him again. Down to, first off, Cameron Jackson as the referee was pretty funny getting involved. But dear God, he took the greatest stunner ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Dalton with the camera.
Yeah, no, it was Jason Atlas was running with a camera and trips over a pipe.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Oh, and then Dalton got hit.
Yeah, Dalton got
both
hit
cameramen got taken out. But there was just a lot of really memorable moments in that match. Then you get to the point where Mike wraps the chain around Kirsten's neck.
Mhm.
And that's where it got real. And quit. And I mean, even Cam's there telling him you went too far. I'll never forget after that match, that was the last match we filmed for a little while. Before we went into the main event. No, we filmed out of order. That was the last match we filmed.
Yeah.
Because they knew they were going to get disgusting. And I'll never forget hosing them off at Tyler's grandmother, God bless her soul, at her house. I hosed them both off, and it was some of the nastiest things I'd ever seen. Mike was picking stuff out of his forehead. Just the dirt and the mud and the blood.
Oh God, yeah.
It was definitely crazy. Both men, it took a lot out of both of them. And I remember we went out to eat right after. So here you got Mike trying not to drip blood on some food. Dirty's over here. Dirty's just a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, man, it's a tough one.
And I mean, took it like a champ. But in my opinion, it's the most memorable match this community has ever seen.
Yeah.
When it comes to just a memorable thing, that was the most memorable match. Both men went out there, blood, sweat, and tears, put their heart into it, and did what nobody expected them to do. Because, I mean, we heard Dirty and Big Time Mike, I Quit. I mean, we knew it was going to be hard hitting, but we had no idea.
Yeah. Well, and, even just another quick point, going back to kind of what I said earlier about, best in the yard being giving it all you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what that show's about. And that match, I think, is one of the matches that is the epitome, really, of what the show was about. If anybody's ever wondering exactly what Best in the Yard is or why we ever put it on, that was really kind of the whole idea. Mike and Dirty really showed, how hard they were willing to go for what we do or what we did or however you want to put it now. And it was a beautiful yet disturbing match. Very memorable.
Honestly, though, when you said beautiful, I mean, that's a word I describe it as, because, like, if I looked at it as a piece of cinema, like a movie, it was 5 stars.
Well, and knowing Mike and knowing Dirty, it's like...
You'd never expect that out of them.
Yeah, no. Because, they're both just such amazing people and different characters, and not even in the ring, but outside the ring. They're characters without even knowing that they're characters. And it's really something. And also seeing Mike blooded.
It's always fun.
It's very. It's kind of hard sometimes. You see him at his wits' end, and like you can tell he's really giving it. And that match, especially, to watch somebody you really care about so much actually bloodied and beaten to a pulp, it's kind of hard. But yeah, sorry, that's just that's a very important match, I think, to the whole community. As far as
makes sense. So I gotta get to the comments. Somebody in here that hasn't been the whole show, and he got a lot to say, of course.
Is it Mr. Awesome?
No. No, but I think you'll enjoy who it is.
Who is it?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's McDonald, baby.
Navon! Yes! It's the king of the mountain, Navon McDonald. Yes! Best in the yard.
Man, I wish I was off tonight to watch along, but I have to come through and show some love. Legendary match between Dirty and Big Time Mike.
Yep.
Aaron and Nick, I miss and love y'all. Biddy 2 meant so much to me personally, being there and getting to meet you guys and all my brothers for the first time.
Let me tell you, Navon is one of my favorite brothers in the yard.
Exactly.
Let me tell you about the time I met Navon McDonald. So Navon came up to me, and he went to shake my hand, and he's shaking my hand, and he goes, Aaron, I was like, hey man, I'm Aaron. He goes, oh, I know exactly who you are, and like won't let go of my hand. He goes, I love your entrance. You walk left, you walk right, you walk left, you do the thing with your fist. Like, still just not letting go. And I was just like, who is this crazy mofo? And he has quickly became like, when it comes to the yard, God, anytime I get to see or hear from Devon, it's always special.
Yeah. And I, man, just kind of touching on that, he really is a amazing friend to me. We're actually Leo brothers. If he watches it later, he'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, the first time I met Devon, he came up to me, the silver standard. Oh, Lord have mercy. How are you? And the same thing. I mean, he's an amazing person.
I mean, I could literally do a 3-hour podcast just on Navon stories of him in my house, like trying to break stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Like all the time.
Fighting Yankee down my hallway.
Yeah.
And I mean fighting. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I love Navon to death. It's good to see he could at least chime in right quick, especially on that caliber of a match. I love and miss your man dearly. Hope to see you soon.
Love you, buddy.
Cheers, Bubba. I drank all my alcohol. I got some Minute Maid. It's a big jug, but I'll drink some for you.
I'll mention he had a couple more things he said too. I tell you what, I went the whole trip without a phone, and even if I had it, it wouldn't have mattered because that's how much fun we were all having. Epic time matches were the icing on the cake.
I don't think anybody was really on their phone.
No.
I mean,
I never really am.
No, Nick really never is. I mean, I grabbed his phone earlier to look at something, and he has like 26 texts he ain't opened. But, like, we didn't need it. And that was the cool things about those times, is nobody needed to be on their phone. Nobody needed to go up and watch some TV or want to leave. Like, no, we all wanted to be with each other and spend as much time as possible and just enjoy ourselves. And that's another thing that was so special about Best in the Yards, because while, yeah, we were there to entertain the community and we were there to entertain each other and ourselves, like, no, we were there for that bond. Yeah. We were there because of this brotherhood in this community. And I mean, it's something so bittersweet to look back on and know that we had. But it's also something I can look back on just and smile. Like the second you said Navon, the smile clicked because 1,000 memories popped in my head. And it's the same like with Dirty earlier and Yankee. And Yankee, we still got to wrestle, pal. But just different people. I mean, you just get that. TJ being down here. Diablo, just walking in my bedroom.
Right.
I hadn't seen the guy in months. Didn't even know he was coming over. I mean, he probably heard TJ was in town, but I mean, just so many good memories from different people. So, I mean, it was definitely always fun.
All right. Navon would finish saying, I'll always remember fondly. God bless you all. And can't wait to see you again. Aaron and Nick, 2021. Let's go.
Heck yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's got to happen this year.
Oh, yeah.
Navon, I'm going to take you to Chick-fil-A. We're going to have some fun. You're going to slather some Chick-fil-A sauce on a nice lady. And you'll be good, pal. If you didn't know, Navon is addicted to Chick-fil-A, and he likes putting Chick-fil-A sauce on his women.
I know he loves his Chick-fil-A, but that part I didn't know.
All right.
Before we move on to the next match, though, Dirty did put in, I'm sorry, Mike. I love you, bro, but you done pissed me off at that time.
Yep. God, it's such a good match.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've showed that match to a lot of people who aren't even wrestling fans. Just because I'm like, you want to see some crazy shit?
And Navon, still in the chat section, says, LMFAO, shiesty.
Grimy and trifling. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah and amen.
We'll move along.
Oh, yeah.
Lights. Action. Jason, it's all on.
5-0. That is the number of people
that I have been in backyard wrestling in the crossbred era.
I honestly did not think that it would be this easy. I never would have thought that I would have said Jason Walker is easy. One guy stuck out in my mind, and to this day still sticks out in my mind. That being you. You, Jason Walker.
Do you honestly think you have a chance at beating me at Best in the Yard?
I seen some of myself. I'll come out and say it right now. Jason Walker, I was jealous of you.
The difference between you and I record's spotless.
I wanted to be just you.
You will never be able to duplicate that.
I wanted your fame. I wanted your glory. I wanted everything. I wanted the chance to be put on the Mount Rushmore of backyard wrestling.
I hope you're ready for this storm.
That's the yard too. I have the chance because I get to kick your ass all over that damn show. Shine your light in the sky. Don't
Eat shit, kid.
What was wrong with the ending?
Vaughn, I always respected you.
Because I feel like with you coming to me like this, as I'm about to leave this place, it seems like you want something from me.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
We might have a future competition or a match.
Is that a challenge, folks?
Okay, I'm gonna get into that promo that way. It's kind of stopped out there in a moment, but just going over that match, and the highlights could have been a little bit more added into the match part. At one point, of course, didn't see it in the package there, but Tyler looked like he had Jason beat. The referee counted to 3, goes to the review to the cameraman next to him, notices that the shoulder was up the whole time. Eat shit, bitch happens, and Jason Walker picks up the win.
Yes. Eat shit, bitch happened. He got suicidal magician. I mean, but it's just because the good calling of that senior referee Creedome.
Oh yeah, the man,
Creedome. He's a legend. He's also somewhere in Arizona reffing. So if you actually go back and look at the aspects of this match, it was 2 similar characters, and you could listen to Tyler's promo, and I think at that time that was some of the best mic work Tyler had done.
Yeah,
that's actually something me and Nick were talking about when that video was playing, and they did have a lot of similarities, and they started off no better way than they did.
Yeah,
it couldn't have been better with Tyler immediately running over to, I was about to say Jason Walker, and just starting to throw hands, and they start brawling. And these 2 men, they beat the ever living crap out of each other. Up until the point where it looked like Tyler won. And everybody was like, wow, the streak is ended. Streak did end eventually due to Arnold McDonald, TJ Sakara, and Aaron Jones. Different day. Love you, TJ. But until the referee saw that his foot was under the rope and just doing what a good referee should do, restart the match, eat shit, bitch. And 1, 2, 3. I mean, I think it told a really good story, especially going to the point of, if you go more forward from there, that's when Tyler Aiken started doing the storm callings.
Yeah.
or Tyler Storm started doing the storm callings, where he wrestled a lot more crossover people. He beat big time Mike, Dirty to Chico, Cameron Jackson, Lips. And I think that without the match with Jason Walker, those matches would have never happened.
Yeah. Well, and that match was always a dream match for me,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Tyler and Everett from the first Best in the Yard.
Yeah.
That's not why those matches happened, but it just so happened that they could. And I mean, obviously,
Right.
those
The
were
amount
two
of
dudes.
the amount of dream matches that got to happen through Best in the Yard.
And there's still some that didn't, but also though we got to see some amazing dream matches just unfold. One of them in particular though was Tyler and Jason Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Tyler was so amped up for the match, and I know Jason Walker was also.
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited for it. I was kind of surprised at everything that happened. Jason Walker's entrance right down to the nitty gritty.
Actually, let's talk about that entrance. Jason Walker comes out with a smoking machete, and he almost cut Tyler with it. When Tyler went to run up to hit him, he almost didn't get it thrown in time, and it would have cut Tyler, which that could have went really bad, really quick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, luckily he got it away pretty quick and was able to move past that. But yeah, I mean, just solid is what that was. That's the best way I can explain that match. Was just pure T solid.
Yeah.
Right.
Another one of my favorites from the show.
Right. Dirty did say, "I'd do it all again with Mike in a heartbeat" off of his match as well.
Man, I would do every ounce of our Best in the Yard stuff over again, without hesitation.
Oh, same.
With a smile on my face. I mean, there's some matches that probably shouldn't have happened at some of the Best in the Yards, but I'll even deal with those just to have. I mean, if I could just sit back with that group of guys everybody who went to a Best in the Yard, if I could just sit back and hang out with every single one of them at the same time and just sit back and watch the memories, I think it'd be the best thing ever, which I know will never happen, but it'd be so cool. I mean, just a few times like where people like TJ's down here or Navon and Everett or Yankee, and we get to sit back and watch over some of those things and just laugh and smile and hell cry. I mean, it happens. It's always fun. So, I mean, I'd do every bit of it over again, and I would love to see Mike and Dirty beat the hell out of each other again.
Yeah. just one more.
Yeah. Move on past after the match, seeing a little clip, Navon and Avery Hoke talking in the back.
Which honestly led to one of my favorite BTW matches of all time.
Still probably one of the best matches I've ever seen. I don't think the crowd's ever been that hot.
No.
During a match. Like Tony, I was in tears of joy.
It was so crazy.
It was that we were shit was getting thrown and Aaron was wheezing. Okay, we were having a time, man.
So obviously that match was being billed for Best in the Yard 3.
Right.
It didn't happen. It ended up happening on VTW Turbulence, and was by far my favorite match on the show. They actually clicked super well. Navon is such a professional. I can never say enough good about Navon. Actually, that was Avery Hoke's last match, and what a way to go out.
Hell yeah.
Right.
I mean, beautiful. And then you had that other promo.
Oh, you mean this one that we're about to show?
No, not this one.
No, I know, but we are going to move into another one anyway. Because we know this one.
Does this grave represent the career of Jason Walker? Because if so, I will be more than happy to dig it for you.
No, death is only the beginning.
And I'll do it 2 years in a row.
Okay, so we can't jump into that main event quite yet.
That's fine.
Because Biddy 2 was the first time we see Everett Creed, Jason Walker counteract. Obviously, this was several years ago now. We've seen a little bit here and there between those two, but we haven't seen that match yet. Still,
No, to this day, I mean, it's still a match that hasn't happened. It was supposed to happen at Best in the Yard 3, and Everett didn't come. It was supposed to happen at Best in the Yard 4. Jason Walker didn't come. And I mean, it ain't like they no-showed or anything. I mean, Everett had something to do. Best in the Yard 4, Charles had a vacation planned with his family already. And I mean, we couldn't move the date because everybody had already taken off for it.
right?
So, I mean, I hate it never got to happen. I'd say never, but I mean, not on the Best in the Yards. I mean, it just never got to happen, which is kind of sad. It's two very similar characters, and if you saw Everett carried the fire poker at that point, I can tell you, I've taken that fire poker from Everett. It is not fun. So, I mean, you look at that story, and it had a lot of potential to do a lot of big things, and it never got to. Make sure to push that door. Oh, shit. That way we don't hear the gorillas in the background. Is that the gorillas?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing the gorillas.
But yeah, I would say it kind of planted the seeds for a dream match for the community that we have yet to see, anyways.
I agree.
All right. We shall move on to the main event. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Is that your jacket?
Yes.
Okay.
So, a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, a
First
lot.
of all-
By the way, I'm going to say, I apologize. Hear loud music in the background. People don't know how to be polite and keep it down. When I say keep it down, continue, Tony.
It's all good. I can hear nothing but you guys at the moment. So,
Because I'll kill somebody.
like I said, a lot to unpack from that. Of course, you have the match between Cam and Drew. Decent match. Quite interesting match. Let's put it that way. You get some good, hilarious spots, comedic spots through the match. You see Creedom get taken out. Big Time Mike comes out, take his place as a referee.
Freedom straight got Suicidal Magician by Big Time Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of really cool spots during the match. I mean, you had the thing where everybody showed up and starts kicking. I mean, just kicking Drew, and then you hear stop, and Drew comes up Biabu. I mean, those little funny segments. Cam half shaving Drew's head. Drew actually went with a mohawk after Best in the Yard 2 until his work told him he had to shave his head because it wasn't professional. I mean, it was definitely big. I mean, at the time, once again, two really similar characters, two really good men on the mic, two really good guys in the ring, going out there and at that time doing what they could do best. And that was putting on a show for everybody. And then they did the most despicable thing in the world by joining forces with Big Time Mike to create the Follow That Crow.
Wait, who? CJ Cameron?
CJ
Cameron Jackson is one of the best freaking wrestlers I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. He's the brother man with the master plan. 16, number 1, God, G-O-W-D-T.
There's no W.
There will be. If I say there is, he's a damn gold.
Just spit in my ear.
And then there's Drew.
But no, they obviously joined forces to make the FTC, which was one of the most hated.
Oh, dude! At the time, it was like, oh damn. Yeah, but
dear God, this is live.
Well, we said she wasn't going to make an appearance, and there she is doing the cha-cha slide or whatever the hell that was. Anyways, though.
Tony, don't ever invite people to your house. Dear God, they keep coming in groves. We're trying to talk. Speaking of the man of the hour, Cameron Jackson, we're talking about his match right now.
We are.
Yeah, he added a W to got. Cam, do you have anything to say? God damn.
Hey, this pretty much sums up the main event, Tony.
It does. It was a cluster.
Pretty much.
No, super entertaining.
Live?
Yes, we're live.
Oh, we're live.
You owe me.
Live as can be, brother.
Tony, Tony, I love you, man. I truly do. I love everybody. I love everybody.
I don't love anybody at this moment in time.
Aaron loves me. You know what? You know what's crazy?
That's crazy.
And even though we're live, and Aaron might hate me for this, but I got Aaron out of his shell. I really did.
No, I did.
When me and him put on our show, our crossover crisis, and how a crisis it was.
Damn old dick right there.
I took him out of his shell, and we put on a fucking show. Even though this is about Biddy 2, and I know this is about Biddy 2. I'm not trying to take it away from Biddy 2, because Biddy 2 is great. But I just want to say, truly, I love every single one of these guys in here, and females in here. I truly, truly do. And Tony, even though you and me haven't had a singular interview yet, it's going to come. I know you're going to Instagram me on Instagram, DM, whatever the hell that goes on here. We're going to do this interview thing because I got a lot to say, and I'm sure you got a lot to say with me. It's going to be great.
So, in the words of Cameron Jackson, the match was good.
It was good.
Yeah, Tony, I really hate to cut this short, but I can barely even hear you now.
I believe it.
The match was exactly what it needed to be. The ending was some despicable things.
It's 5 knuckle shuffle time.
Oh Lord.
No, wait, don't do it on the bed. There's a lot of stuff under the cover.
I gotta make it there first.
Cam,
Tony, this is
Cam
mad.
just proceeded to pick up Kirsten
Yeah.
and the attitude adjustment and take her to the couch.
The FTC, Tony, was historic, I guess.
Yeah, in a way.
What's going on? We're having a time. Women are getting attitude adjustments, and Aaron's kicking the door, and Ernie's here. Fucking.
The only
crazy.
one that's been quiet is Zach Daniels been standing in the corner for about 10 minutes.
I know. I start yelling, and here they come. You know.
I'm telling you, if Merritt comes to that door and tries to cash in, I quit.
Well, we got a comment in the comment section.
Oh, great!
Tell him.
Adam Anderson says it's past my bedtime. You guys are still going at it.
Say that again.
Adam Anderson says it's past my bedtime, and you guys are still going at it.
It's past my bedtime too.
I know. We got to be up.
Excuse me.
I said Brian Phillips just accepted your friend request. What?
No, just
now?
accepted my friend request.
Damn.
No, me and Brian are good friends. But yeah.
Yeah, we are.
I hope so. You guys main evented Biddy 4.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, come here. Brian, come here, Mr. Judgment. We got Mr. Judgment here.
Well, sure.
We got that Mr. Judgment at Walmart. Got Tony good right there.
You did.
No, the match. It was everything it needed to be. Good bit of heat at the end, and then they took all their shirts back.
So it appeared.
Nick, do you have anything to say about this match? I've been trying. You left me behind.
Ryan.
You know, when Drew got his head shaved, it was pretty cool, pretty funny.
What a rush.
He looked kind of ridiculous, and yeah, they beat each other up for a while, and made history.
Yeah.
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 Sorry,
The
Tony.
FTC ran roughshod for about a year. So.
I ain't never ever gonna get booked on another podcast.
I was in the zone, and all that happened, and now it's just gone. I don't know. Yeah.
No, trust me. This is
In
all you guys are invited back at some point. So.
Just like Best in the Yard 2, this podcast is going to end
in a cluster.
Fucking cluster.
So I did this with Mike. I'm going to do it with you guys too. After we finish reviewing the show, I just want to hear from you guys what your biggest takeaways from the Best in the Yard shows that you guys were part of was, and one of your favorite parts, or matches and or promos, so as to speak, that you were a part of or that you've seen in those shows.
Okay, so basically just from this biddy or all biddies together?
All biddies together.
Okay, so I take different things away from every single one of them. Biddy 1 was obviously the most special because we didn't think it was going to happen until they pulled into that Burger King 2 minutes from Tyler's house. And we were like, man, this is about to happen. I was very grateful at that time. Best in the Yard 2, we take a lot of good memories and a lot of fun times, a lot of laughs. Best in the Yard 3 was where we tried to make them a little bit more serious. And, I mean, you had one of the most emotional moments in our entire community with Mike retiring, where, I mean, there was a group of grown men crying in a church, which, yes, it was inside of a church gym, but there was a group of grown men crying inside of a church gym after Big Time Mike retired, into the fourth, to where the fourth, the only thing I really took away was that one's kind of difficult for me because the one thing to take away was not to take this too serious because you never know when it's going to be gone.
Absolutely.
Don't look at the bad things that happen. Only look at those positives that can make you realize that it was much better than it actually was. But this one specifically, I mean, Best in the Yard 2, there were so many special moments, so many matches. Everything clicked. Everything had a meaning behind it, except Carlos falling asleep. But Tony.
Yeah, it's here. Just had a little connection issues there.
Oh, okay. But I mean, everything just at Best in the Yard 2 clicked. And when I look back at the memories and the moments, like I say, it's all taking a knee or elbow drop to Cameron Jackson's sunglasses that broke, or going to Bojangles Fried Chicken and Biscuits afterwards, and everybody having to hold the rope and go through it like they're Ric Flair, but there's no rope there. I mean, just so many good moments. Also, Best in the Yard 2, Big Time Mike set his keys and cell phone on the back of Zach's car.
Oh.
And Zach left because he didn't know. And Mike was stuck in North Carolina with no keys and no phone.
He kind of mentioned that, but I don't think he mentioned whose car it was.
Yep, it was. He had to come down and get the spare key, and then he bought like a Walmart phone, and Tyler's mom printed out the directions of how to get back down to Alabama.
Nice.
I mean, it was insane. I mean, I can look back on so many memories and just smile and reminisce, but that's what it was all about for me, was just those memories.
Yeah. It's actually kind of rare that I think about the wrestling aspect when we talk about Best in the Yard, because I mean, even the first one, that was one of the first times I think we really understood how small we were and how big of a thing we were a part of, and then I think Best in the Yard 2, it kind of re-exemplified that, but also there was just so many memories, and then it just kept going. Best in the Yard 4 is kind of a weird show. There was a lot of drawbacks, but also there was a lot of positives. Honestly, I thought we had one of the best main event matches, and I know you guys are going to talk about it in a future video, but one of the best main event matches
I'm a
that
terrible
I have ever
wrestler.
seen. No, he's just just being a Jones, but seriously, I think it's something that hopefully will live on. We are the ones to do it. I don't think there'll be another Best in the Yard put on unless it's at our disposal with our hands.
Well, obviously, there's Best in the Yard 5. We all know that.
Maybe.
Well, we all know that it's already happened.
Okay.
It did not happen.
No, it did not happen on December the 5th, 2020.
Yeah.
That it'll be up eventually. Check out the NUW channel.
Yep.
But
taking
yeah,
I think this.
But it really is more about just meeting everyone and really the memories, just everybody being together, the community. That's really what it was about. And I think sometimes we forget about those things and how important they really are until they're kind of right in front of our faces or we're revisiting them. So
It's also about Zach Daniels trying to put on the greatest match of every biddy and pretty much succeeding.
True that.
Thanks, pal.
I got no idea.
But no, I mean, just the faces from the first biddy to the fourth. It started off with like our VTW guys, and then the people who came was Cameron Jackson, Everett Creed, Dirty DeChico, and Corey Graves, and then Big Time Mike. That was it until us finally adding some more UWE guys and the NUW guys, and then third adding in some more guys like Tim, who's went by 100 names, Dagan Roth at the time, and then Jax from out west, and then to the fourth adding DBW. So adding guys like Judgment. I mean, we always tried to learn from the people who came and always had good moments. So all I have to say about Mr. Judgment, though, is filth. And, I mean, yeah, just the moments and the people. That's what it's all worth. We actually had a big regret after Best in the Yard 4 because at that time, I would say our community wasn't as strong as it had been at some points. And we didn't take a group picture, which was very rare.
Yeah.
That's something we always did. So, like, come Best in the Yard 5, which I can't really talk about, which sucks until it's up.
We'll get there.
We did at least get our group picture, and that was the biddy that meant the most to me because everybody was there for the love of Best in the Yard, the community, and the people who were on the show. So when everybody finally gets to see it, you'll understand. So.
Fair enough.
Brother, you better shave for our vacation. Dear God. Zach over here looking like Tommaso Ciampa. He ain't great yet. He's just bald.
Yeah.
I actually called you bald inside earlier. I was like, he bald now. I was like, he ain't VTW bald. He's bald. But yeah, so that's basically it for us. Tony, I mean, I know this is your podcast, but I'm going to ask you a question.
How are you now?
So, as a fan, somebody who wasn't actually like a wrestler on the show or anything, just as a fan of Best in the Yards, what were things that stood out to you? That's something I was always curious about when it came to our community. The things that stood out about Best in the Yard.
All of them combined, or anyone in particular that you want to know?
I mean, just in general. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Man, that's tough. I just say that you can tell that you guys all became like a brotherhood, as you've mentioned plenty of times. Something you could see just from the shows and seeing the interactions, the matches. You guys protected each other in all the matches that anybody would have. Obviously, injuries happen, as Corey Graves, for instance. But for that matter, the wrestling is always something, for the most part, that I enjoyed. Certain matches and storylines I didn't, but that's going to come for any fan. So,
yep. That's good to know.
That's my main takeaway from them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You got anything else to say, Nick? You're just looking at the wall.
We're really appreciative of everything that people like Tony here and any of the other people who really supported us through all of that really gave to us, and we're still and still give us opportunities like this, Tony, which we really thank you of just doing a series on something like this. It's been a couple years, and I think it's really cool what you're doing, and we really appreciate stuff like that. People like you honestly keep this type of thing alive, and I think it's one of the I most of my young life and continuing on, it seems, into my adult life has been involved with this, and it's very special to me, as well as Aaron, Zach too, most of the other guys. So people like you really do make it worth it for us. So thank you.
Yeah.
Real.
You there were a lot of fans that always stood out to us. You definitely a big one, starting the podcast and doing your interviews. Guys like Busta Boy.
Hell yeah. Oh God.
Constantly was sharing and making prediction videos and review videos and making call wrestlers of us. I mean,
that's the shit that made it worth it.
Yeah, like Zach just said, that's exactly what made it worth it to us. Or like there was a girl on Twitter for a long time, Maria, who after every show would rank she would rank all the shows and rank the wrestlers, and I mean people who took time out of their day to actually care. I mean that's what made it worth it. That's what made us keep doing it for as long as we did, because this could have ended way before it did, and I'm glad that it didn't.
Same.
And that's because people like Busta Boy, people like Maria back in the day, a lot of other fans, Matthew Ratcliffe,
rest in peace.
Just a lot of other fans. Every hashtag standards represents a soul. Is this Mr. Awesome?
That would be the one and only.
Where you been the whole show? You said you'd be in the comments. You wasn't in the comments. You ain't been on here like this. You did a really good job on these videos, but now you just want to show your face at the end and take all of our publicity.
Oh, yeah.
You want all of our
I just made a return.
It ain't happening.
Oh, but it was popular demand. Thank you, Aaron Jones, for that one.
Wow. Don't be throwing my own stuff at me, pal. It's about to be a breakdown. Is that the name of our next show?
Yes.
Yeah, it's about to be a breakdown, pal. VTW's
Cheap
return.
plugs, people. Cheap plugs. Let's get them.
Yep.
Well, you guys have had plenty of people walk in on you during the show, so I had to throw them on. So.
It's been nearly 3 hours there. We've been talking for 3 hours.
And we've
Sorry, Tony.
and we've had a train of 912 people walk in my bedroom during that 3 hours.
Oh, don't worry. I will always keep walking in the room when Aaron Jones is talking that shit. Wondering why I'm not in the stream. I'm here.
Every hashtag standards represents us all. We got to make a remix, Nick.
True, man. We get a pop remix.
Yeah.
And you know, I had to come, but I had to be late because Xstatic over here is blowing a vape cloud so much I can barely navigate myself. I mean, I got lost.
That's a fair point. We can barely see it here, really. I didn't know.
He was hotboxing. I was like, damn, where am I?
Oh yeah, always.
We've literally sipped whiskey and Nick's vaped.
Oh, wouldn't be you two without some drinking involved. And I wouldn't.
Holy water, you know what I mean?
It wouldn't be a show with some VTW stars without an appearance from Cameron Jackson, TJ Sakara. We've had Diablo, and
Dolores Daniels.
I was gonna say a cameo from Zach Daniels.
Brian Phillips Jr. Adam Anderson in the comment box. Yankee, we still need to have a match. Yeah, and Dirty to Chico. And a partridge in a pear tree.
And you can't forget the King of the Mountain either.
God bless. I love you, Navon. I know you're still not here, but I love you.
Oh, now you know you're going to get a message tonight. Now that you say that, you know you're going to get a message. Aaron, I know you ain't talking about me. I know you ain't.
Actually, I was talking to Navon. When was it? Just the other day. We still talk a good bit. He's such a good guy.
Yeah, man. He's a fantastic.
You know it's a Navon message when you could read it in his voice.
That's everything.
Zach, my brother, how the fuck are you?
What up, my brother? How the hell are you?
To this day, it's still hard not to go to Chick-fil-A and be like, yes, I would like a spicy chicken deluxe. Just plain. Don't be putting no shit on that, all right now? I just
Hold the pickles, bitch.
No pickle. Just pepper jack cheese, lettuce, and the chicken, fries, and about 4 to 3 bottles of Chick-fil-A sauce so I can spread it on her cheeks. Yes!
Oh, no.
I think that is the best way to end this.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I will be the final closer since I have a lot to rewatch and I'm sure everything's been hit.
Yep.
Best in the Yard 5, since I know that's what's coming up. How do you feel you are going to take what the history has been and take it to that final chapter? There, I'm putting you on the spot. Let's go.
We can alternate
Yeah.
if you want.
So, while yes, we had to look at a big part of history, we also looked at a big part of the future. So we had guys who actually never got their shot of being on Best in the Yard coming in. Once again, not going to say names. While taking some of your most prominent names in Best in the Yard history, putting them in the ring. A lot of special matches, a lot of dream matches that, one, people didn't know they wanted, but two, afterwards, everybody will realize, wow, this was the match. All the way to, I mean, it's so hard to talk about without actually saying things.
It's like what you said. We took a look at the past, but we also thought about the future position. I mean, we're not done.
Yeah,
we still have to build a future.
Yeah, like Zach said, I don't know if you could quite hear. We took the past and the future, and we built with that future because we're not done. While, yes, you could technically say we're done, where's yarding with VTW. VTW is building to something newer, bigger, and better. But it wasn't just about us. It was about a closure for the community. It was a closure for some people. And, I mean, I always say never when it comes to certain things. Who knows? I mean, yes, it's Biddy the last hurrah, but you never know. But I think if it is the last one, it was great closure for a lot of guys. It was the first time since Best in the Yard 1 and 2 that we all got together and there was no drama. There was no negativity, really. I mean, everybody was there for the love of what we were doing. I can tell you from experience, there were a lot of tears.
Oh, wow.
I mean, a lot of tears, a lot of love. Here. Okay. We about had a run in from insanity.
Oh no, not him.
But I mean, a lot of tears, a lot of smiles, a lot of pictures, a lot of love on that day. And I feel like when everybody finally gets to sit down and watch it, they'll feel that too, because there's honestly no way that you can sit there and watch that show and not feel that.
Absolutely.
You got anything to add?
Yeah, it was definitely a really emotional day for a lot of us. We didn't know exactly if that was going to be it or if that was going to be, just another milestone or what exactly. Some of us hadn't wrestled in years. Some of the guys on the show actually hadn't wrestled in way longer than me.
God, yeah.
And I think some of those guys got back in the ring and did it better than probably than I did.
Well, it's not even that. I think they did it better than they ever did back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of there's a lot of dream matches too, and there was a lot of just really amazing stuff that happened. Really beautiful thing. There was a completely different setup than we're used to.
Yeah, so I can give a little bit of insight because obviously there's been the pictures. BD5 was also down in the building once again. If you saw the group picture with all of us, obviously you could tell, but it's a full-blown wrestling studio that we rented out for the weekend called Center Arena, and completely worth it because we had the aspects of having better things for an entrance. You can say certain people on the show might need some theatrics, and we definitely got that there. A lot of cool things happening, a lot of music set up, and just it was really cool for everybody just to get together that one last time. Nobody left. I mean, everybody stayed and watched, and everybody supported everyone. And I mean, that's just how it was. So, I mean, I couldn't have done it any better if I tried. We put our heart and soul into this last Best in the Yard. And I'm excited for you guys to see it. Everett, get it up. Get it up. Nah, we had some technical issues. Same with Best in the Yard 4. We had some corrupt files. And thanks to Cam, he paid somebody to get them back. So that's what's been taking so long. Was trying to get those camera angles back. So we finally got them. So it's going to be edited and hopefully up soon. Yeah.
That's about all we can say about that.
Yeah, that's about as much as I can say without saying, well, this is the card.
I don't think we want any
no spoilers on that, please.
You know what? Spoiler alert. I wrestled on it, okay?
Oh. What? No.
Yeah, I'm such a terrible wrestler.
You dick.
How dare you take a spot from one up and coming?
I know. Gosh.
Here's an old bit.
Yeah, if you want to talk about Jason Walker's streak, you want to know who else is undefeated at Best in the Yard?
Fuck me.
Thanks, Corey. You're the reason.
Good point.
Yep.
Aaron Jones wrestled Ron Simmons because the only thing I can think on my mind is damn.
All right.
Yep. Well, hey, for real, this has been super fun. I'm glad we got the chance to do it. I mean, it's always good to look back on these memories and have a good smile, have a good laugh. Think about Carl. Oh, hold on, what is that? Carlos just fell asleep again. Looking back on these memories has definitely been really fun tonight, and completely utterly worth it. Even having the 7,000 people barge in my bedroom.
Right. Maybe not quite that many, but still plenty.
It felt like
wait till Mike comes in there, drops an elbow right on that bed.
If Big Time Mike walks in my bedroom, I will cry.
Yeah, same.
I miss him so much.
Because he'd be in the BTA.
Yeah, to be in the BTA and he'd be snapping my ankle again. It's not a fun move to take, people. I've took it.
Believe it.
Iron.
Yeah, but like we say, thanks for the opportunity, man. It's been real fun.
Yeah, I was happy to have you guys on. Talk about this. We'll do another one of these for Best in the Yard 3 here the next few weeks. Yes, 3.
3.
Hey,
Oh, wait a minute. Are we doing North Carolina math?
there you go.
Taking a shot.
But anyway,
I'm about to get
and
that too.
interesting show Best in the Yard 3 was, so it'll be interesting to see who pops up for that retrospective, for that matter.
Yeah.
I can think of a certain somebody in that room, for that matter, that might be a good guest on that show.
Brother Merrick wasn't on that show.
Yeah, not referring to him.
If I were you, I try to get the Bama kid. People love the Bama kid.
Chase Bridges is the Bama kid.
Chase Bridges is the Bama kid confirmed. He grew up in Alabama. Yeah.
No, I got a couple people in mind though. So.
Yeah. Well, that one that's in my room, just shoot him a message.
I heard Kirsten didn't want to work Tuesdays.
It's funny because she's there. But anywho.
But yeah, just shoot Zach a message. He's already over here saying yes.
Yes, Lord.
Funny part is the other part of that was also talked to about certain things too. So
yes.
And you think 3 hours is enough? Wait till you see. It was 5 years ago. It was a hot summer day.
Yeah.
Is that Randy Rude? Oh God. Sorry. Somebody messaged that. But yeah, I'll definitely be in the comments. Actually, I'll actually be in the comments, Mr. Awesome.
Shots taken. 1-800-BOOM headshot.
Damn. All right. Okay.
So y'all the gimmicks.
Guys, I have to go drink after that. I'm sorry. Love you, Tony. Thank you.
I heard you only party on the weekends.
No, we party during the week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh.
Well, anyway, with all that, I gotta say thanks to. We'll go through the whole list. First of all, TJ, Cam, Diablo, Zach, Aaron, of course, Xstatic. Thank you guys for coming on. Mr. Awesome, thanks for joining in here at the end. It's been a blast. Any last words, Aaron?
Well, if I have any last words, right now, right here for Best in the Yard 2, when it came down to that wonderful day, and you two looked at me through this camera screen, Mr. Awesome, it didn't matter what you do coming in this video. It doesn't matter how you talk through that microphone. When you step in this video with the one-man revolution, Aaron Jones, you, sir, realize that you can only be second best, bitch. And that's it. It's been fun.
All right. Well, then this has been Best in the Yard 2.
Might as well job to this one. Get the count going.
1, 2, 3.
We'll get you guys for Best in the Yard 3 retrospective.
They're coming to crash again. Hurry up, Tony.
Don't end the show right now.
All right.
Don't you end the show. Listen to me.
Oops.